Throughout the course of history, men and women have lived and died. Looking back from this place in time, it is clear that people long ago really did some really dumb things. And in order to understand how they died, we must first understand how they lived. These are the stories of how they died. On July 1st, 1863, the largest and bloodiest battle of the Civil War commenced, a battle that would turn the tide of an entire war. The Battle of Gettysburg lasted only 3 days, but when it was over, there were 50,000 troop casualties and 5,000 dead horses and mules. But this is not the story about a battle. This is the story of an ordinary girl who died in an extraordinary way. A story of a 20-year-old seamstress who became the Battle of Gettysburg's lone civilian casualty. Mary Virginia Wade was born in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania on May 21st, 1843. Jennie was one of 6 children born to Mary Ann Philby Wade and Captain James Wade Sr. Although her name was Mary, everyone who knew her just called her Jen or Jennie. It wasn't until after her death that a newspaper misprint would change her name to Jennie. Jennie's father was a tailor, and he ran a tailoring shop located in the heart of Gettysburg. As a young girl, Jennie attended local schools and worked with her parents in the family business. In 1850, Jennie's father was reported to have found $500 cash in the street. But instead of searching for the owner or turning the money in, he kept it. He was later arrested and charged with embezzlement. He was sentenced to 2 years in Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia. It is possible that because of the conditions in the penitentiary, Jennie's father developed some mental health issues and was later sent to an asylum. After her father was arrested, Jennie and her sister Georgia worked with their mother as seamstresses in the family tailoring shop in order to make ends meet. Jennie lived during a time when this country was torn in half. A war had been brewing, a war that would see brother fight against brother and friend fight against friend. Jack Skelly and Wesley Culp, 2 of Jennie's childhood friends, would end up fighting on opposite sides of the same war. Jack for the Union Army, and Wesley, despite being from the North and that his family fought for the Union, fought for the Confederate Army. It is believed by many that Jennie and Jack Skelly were more than just friends, but had possibly been engaged before Jack went off to fight for the Union. On April 15, 1862, Jennie's sister Georgia married John Lewis McCullen. The couple rented a duplex home located on Baltimore Street, about 50 yards from Cemetery Hill in the center of Gettysburg. Although the war had started a year prior, the Wade family never imagined that the 2 armies would end up meeting in the center of their little town. At midday on July 1st, 1863, the Confederate troops marched into Gettysburg. Upon learning of the troop invasion, Jennie and her family fled their home on the outskirts of town and took shelter in her sister's home. Georgia had just given birth 5 days earlier, and it was believed at the time that women should not be moved so soon after giving birth. Georgia's bed had even already been moved to the first floor parlor of the 2-story house. The Wades felt that since Georgia's home was in the center of town, and the fact that it had sturdy brick walls, that they would be relatively safe from the battle. However, a Union picket line was located just a few feet from the backyard of the home. There was intermittent skirmishing between the Union and Confederate soldiers. Bullets would constantly pelt the side of the house. But regardless of the fighting outside, the Wade family helped care for the soldiers that were just outside the home. Jennie spent most of the first day of the battle bringing bread and water to the Union soldiers. By the middle of the second day of the battle, Jennie realized that the diminishing supply of bread would need to be replenished, so Jennie and her mother left yeast to rise for the next day. On the morning of July 3rd, Jennie awoke extra early. She had her breakfast, read from her Bible, and quoted scripture. In spite of the hostile fighting outside, Jennie gathered firewood, went to fetch water, and then made her way into the kitchen, where she continued kneading the dough from the night before. At approximately 7 o'clock in the morning, Confederate sharpshooters began firing at the north windows of the house, and a 10-pound artillery shell crashed through the house and the wall that separated the two residences. It came to rest in the eaves of the home. The shell would remain there undetonated for 15 years. One bullet actually flew through the window of the home's parlor, hitting the bedpost where Georgia had been lying with her infant son. The bullet lodged itself in the mantel of the fireplace. While Jennie stood in the kitchen kneading the dough, a musket ball flew through the wooden side door, then through a second door in the kitchen, and struck Jennie in the back just below her left shoulder blade. Jennie collapsed to the floor. Her mother, hearing her fall, ran to the kitchen. The cries of Jennie's sister and mother were heard by nearby Union soldiers, who came running to assist with evacuating the family to the cellar of the home. Jennie's mother refused to leave her daughter's body behind and insisted that the soldiers bring Jennie into the cellar, where they would wait 18 hours for the battle to end. Jennie Wade died on July 3rd, 1863. She was just 20 years old. Jennie had died instantly when the bullet struck her. The bullet had hit her in the back, passed through her heart, and then lodged in her corset. It would turn out that Jennie was the only civilian to die as a direct result of the Battle at Gettysburg. On July 4th, the Union soldiers helped wrap Jennie's body in a quilt, and they buried her in the Union trench in the back of the home. Jennie's mother went on to finish baking the very bread that Jennie had been kneading when she died. The dough made 15 loaves that were distributed to the Union soldiers. Later, Jennie's body would be moved to the town's German Reformed Church. In November of 1865, her remains were reinterred to their final resting place at Evergreen Cemetery in Gettysburg. She was finally laid to rest near the grave of Jack Skelly. Sadly, Skelly had been mortally wounded in the Battle of Winchester 2 weeks prior to the Battle of Gettysburg. Jack died on July 12th, just 9 days after Jennie Wade was killed. The two never knew of each other's passing. Jennie Wade was treated as a hero because she died in service to her country. In the year 1900, a monument was dedicated in Jennie's honor. In 1910, a flagpole was erected at her gravesite. The American flag flies over Jennie's grave 24 hours a day. The only other woman to receive this honor is Betsy Ross. The duplex where Jennie lost her life still stands today. It was renamed the Jennie Wade House. The building was preserved and became a museum and tourist attraction in the early 1900s. People who visit the house today can tour the home and view over 150 bullet holes that remain in the brick facade. Jennie Wade was not a soldier, but her bravery and dedication to her country will forever be remembered. So whose story would you like to know? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to hear more stories of how they died, please give this video a thumbs up, click that subscribe button, and turn on the notifications so that you never miss a new video. And I will talk to you next time. Bye guys.